Hello friends, welcome back to Five Oaks Farm Stitching. My name is Rachel and this is Flosstube episode number 4. I'm so excited to be back. It's been about 3 weeks since my last video. There's been a lot going on. We're a busy family of 5 and I've been doing a lot of crafting and stitching as well. But this is football season, the end of football season for us here in Texas. And my youngest son wrapped up his freshman season last week and my oldest is on varsity and they are #1 in district as of Friday. So we are moving on to playoffs. We get to stretch his season out a little longer, which as a senior, you know, anything we can make last longer that's a last is very exciting. So we are going to playoffs, going to San Antonio to play on Friday, and my daughter throws for track, and so they don't start for a couple more months, but we've enjoyed crafting together, decorating for Christmas together. I'm gonna talk about her a little bit later because she's going to start cross-stitching today. So I'm excited about that, and I am so excited to be here with you guys. I have missed just having a video and making a video and sharing what I'm working on with this community, so I'm excited to be back today. I did finish 2 projects recently. One of them is this little ghost girl back here for Halloween. I did put up a short, just 8-minute video on how I made her. And I have a book called The Little Ghost That Was a Quilt. And then my sister had made some ghosts like this. And I thought I could quilt a ghost like that. And it was super fun and it turned out very cute. It was a ton of work and took so long, but I did put a video up if you want to see how I made her. And then I only have one finish for cross stitch, which is really only partially finished. So I have this little dancing Halloween cat pillow. I still need to sew the top and then add some trim to the edges, so it's only partially done, but I am stitching on Teresa Kogut's Dancing Halloween Cats. This was from her Patreon last year, and I am working on this. I shared last time I have To the Pumpkin stem done, and I will keep working on that randomly through the year, but I had seen Maggie from Homemade on the Ridge do the cats separately for a really adorable project that you definitely need to go check out. And I decided to stitch one of these on a little scrap piece of fabric I had. And I saw a little pack of Rustic Gatherings, I think it was, a little charm pack. And I thought that fabric would go so well with this little cat. And so I knew I wanted to turn it into a pillow. So I'm almost done. I just need to finish it up, and then obviously it won't be up this year, but I'll have it ready for next year. And I think I'll make 3. I think I will do the other 2 cats, and then I'll do the same thing and just use, I have enough fabric to make 3 of them. And so I stitched this one, and so I'll stitch this one, and I'll stitch this one but with a happy face instead of the sad face that's on there. And then I just had some fabric for the back. So I'll do 3 and then I can just set them in a row. Next Halloween, I'll just stitch on those randomly. I think I have enough. This is 14 count Prairie Grain by Witchelt, and I have enough that I could do 2 more cats. And then I'll use up all that fabric that I have left, and it'll probably be just enough to make 2 more pillows. I love using up scraps and leftovers and turning them into cute things and knowing I didn't waste anything. So I've got my little ghost and my little dancing cat pillow, and those are my pretty much FFOs over the past 3 weeks. I do have 2 new starts. If you follow me on Instagram, then you have probably seen one of these. I do a lot of car stitching. My husband is sweet enough to drive every time we go somewhere, and I always bring a project in the car. He kind of makes fun of me that I can't leave the house without grabbing a bag or 2 to work on while we're driving. And so I brought Christmas Gentlemen to the football game last week. We had a 2-hour drive there, 2-hour drive back, and I have one of those little neck lights that gets really bright and I can aim down on my project. Even when it's dark, I can stitch in the car. And I started this and I'm loving it. I love stitching words, so I started at the top and I almost got Mary in. And I'm excited about this. Someone commented on my Instagram post and said they stitched this maybe 20 years ago and they loved it. and I am really enjoying stitching it too. So I'll probably go across the top, do all the words, the Merry Christmas. They show it as a separate project down here. You could even separate the Santas, but I am gonna do the full project with all the Santas going across at the bottom. And I just got all of the floss at Hobby Lobby the other day. So it's all DMC, and this is just a 14 count Aida from Hobby Lobby. So that'll be fun to work on this Christmas season. And then if you watched my last video, I showed my grandmother's giant Ellen Stouffer cross stitch project, or finished project, that she made my dad and mom when I was younger, and it hung in our house my whole life. And so I have collected most of the Ellen Stouffer projects that my grandmother stitched. And so this one's Country Sampler, and I had this one kitted up, I don't know, maybe for a year now, and I just started it the other day. It's a tiny start, but I've got Country Sampler, Bless This House, then there's a Christmas one, and then there's one more like neighbors, friends and neighbors, I think. And so I want to stitch all of them like my grandmother did. And I just have a tiny start of little checkers down here on the border. So this border goes all the way around the entire sampler. I don't know how many colors are in this, at least 30, 40. I've just started kitting them up, prepping them and putting them on floss drops as I pull them. So I only have the blue and the pink right now. But I'm doing this on a 16 count consignment fabric. So I don't know who made this or where it came from, but it's giant. I have it all folded up. It'll be plenty big for this one. I don't know if I can get a second one on there or not, but I'm excited to work on that for a long time. I've just accepted the fact that's gonna take me years to finish, but I'll be so happy to hang it on the wall when I'm done. I've got quite a pile of WIPS. I have been stitching every day, just random projects. Sometimes I get really stuck on one thing, even if I'm not even close to being done, and I am just wanting to stitch this one thing, and I just keep going on it every single day for like a week at a time. But it's like the past few weeks, every day I'm in the mood to stitch something different. So I've stitched a little bit on a lot of things. And so my WIP pile's pretty big, but I shared this one a few weeks ago, and it's Blooming Quakers. So this was from Hello from Liz Matthews Patreon, I think last year. Maybe last year, could be this year, but I just thought that was such a cute one for springtime to get started on. And so I started on this flower right here. And I'm really like, this is my first Quaker style stitch to do. And so I am loving it. It's making me very excited to stitch Lila Studios Spring Quaker that I have kitted up, and I haven't started yet. So I'm almost done with that first flower. I'll probably just work my way down, finish that one, and then move on to the next one. I'm really having fun with that. And this is also just, I have so many random things that are given to me or I found like secondhand. So this is a 18 count white Aida from somewhere. And then Flip It, Lizzie Kate, October stamp. This little guy's so cute, and he's got the little buttons inside that are so tiny. I'm gonna have to find the tiniest needle, but I got pretty far on him. He is almost done. So I just need to finish that border and his face, and then there's all this fill-in, which I kind of save when I'm stitching while doing something and I don't want to be counting or thinking, then I save the fill-in on projects for that. And so I'll go work up here and then I'll fill in, and then I go work up here and then I fill in. And I know this is only like one night of stitching left if I would just focus on it, but this has been really fun. I'm sure I'll end up buying some more of those. And that's in my little heart bag. And then this one I showed probably at the beginning of the Halloween season, that I wanted to stitch up a few of these ornaments for a little Halloween tree. And I did start stitching, let's see where they are. Oh, the little witch's feet. And I stitched the feet really fast and the little word, but then all of them have fill-in around the design. And I just got so tired of filling that in. I'm gonna be honest, I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna fill it in. It's not something I look forward to picking up and working on, even though I really do want to finish about 5 or 6 of these for next year. I just don't know if I will do the fill-in on the rest of them. So I'm going to finish this. I'm gonna cut it out. I have mason jar lid toppers that I'm going to try to finish them on as just an easy, cheap, back for these to hang on the tree. I just don't know, depending on how this one looks, when I'm done, I'll decide if I'm just gonna do the design and not do the fill-in on the rest of them, or if I'm just gonna power through and keep going, because I know they will be really cute. And I'm excited because I have plenty of fabric to finish them all on this. This is 16 count cold foam from Bestitch Me. And then I have showed you before, I have Welcome Autumn and then Autumn Alphabet in the same little bag. I did not work on Autumn Alphabet. I got really far on that previously, and this time I wanted to work on Welcome Autumn, and I just love the colors. This is just a 14 count Aida, but I love the flower and the pumpkin, that yellow and that orange. I really love that. And I haven't quite finished the gingham yet either, so it goes across, but I just was ready to jump up to those things. So that'll be easy to finish, and I'll definitely turn that into a pillow just like they did. And then we have Delivering Christmas, another hello from Liz Matthews. Santa carrying a giant tree. And I am doing this one also on a Bestitch Me fabric. This is on 16 count vintage. And I have not gotten very far. Last time I think I had this much done. And so I just worked the back of his coat and then his belt, and then working my way up Santa. Santa's small. I need to finish him up, and then I'll move on to that giant tree. And I think my plan for the tree is I will outline it, then I will work on all the little designs inside, so that what's left is just fill-in, and I'm just filling in that dark green. And then I'll probably stop here. I won't leave this space with a few snowflakes. I'll just make it a little bit shorter. And now my Advent project that I have shown you before. This is Doreen Jones' Advent calendar. I was so excited to start this. I am loving it. It is so fun. They're just little bitty projects, and I started with number 1. I'm just gonna go in numerical order. Here's my little reindeer. Some of you may notice right away what I did wrong with him, but I love him. He is adorable. I finished him and I started backstitching. But to be perfectly honest, I had not backstitched until I shared my Waxing Moon Santa, from the trio, and I couldn't see my snowflakes, and y'all were so kind and were like, you should backstitch them and then you'll be able to see them. And that was the first time I'd ever backstitched anything. And I didn't use black because I just wanted to use something softer. So I used like a gray, and it looked great. But I didn't think about the fact that you don't need 2 threads to backstitch. And so this whole little guy is backstitched with 2 310 DMC. And I didn't even notice, honestly, that it looked so heavy and dark until I got to his face. Everything else I thought looked great. I started at the bottom, worked my way up, and then I got to his face. I was like, gosh, his eyes are a little weird, and it just looks heavy. And then I started stitching number 2. And when I started stitching number 2, oh, that's the back. Started stitching number 2 and got to here, I pulled 1 thread and thought, did I do the other one with 1 thread or 2? And this is so delicate looking. So it's not that I don't like him. it's just so bold, and I don't think I want that on every single one. And so I am probably going to, I'm not going to redo this. I'm not going to undo this. I'm going to do him again. I'm just going to start over and make another one. I'll turn this into something cute, then I'll still display him, but I'll make another one to go with however I'm going to finish these, so that all the back stitching is this delicate, you know, called for back stitching. But they're super fun. These little borders at the bottom and the top are so far my favorite. The designs are adorable, but those little borders are so fun to make, and then backstitch. I'm excited about all of them. So they all have their own little unique combination and design. It's gonna be so fun. So fun. I go back and forth on how I'm gonna finish it. I'm like quilted ornament or something really cool with like magnets that I can put on every day as a countdown to Christmas. I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but either way, it'll be fun. And I'll enjoy stitching that reindeer again. Although I did complain to my husband, not really complain, but I just had never, I'm still new. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, I have only been cross stitching for 2 years. So there are still things I don't know. There are things I mess up on probably every single project. And there's things I haven't tried. So obviously I learned a lot about back stitching. I also have never done designs with so many colors. So his little reindeer face, there's probably 4 or 5 browns and tans, and he turns out adorable. But I said to my husband, don't you think I could just do 1 color tan on his face and it would look just as good? And he was like, this is not like you. You like to be extra. You don't like to cut corners, so don't change it. I was like, okay, fine. So I'm excited. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then we have Let's Go Trick-or-Treating. I got a little bit done on this pumpkin lady that I've been working on. So this is a 16 count sand dollar Aida by Bestitch Me. And I worked up her dress, and then I was about here, I think, last time. So I just started outlining her clothes so that I could work on her shirt and move up to her head. This one's really fun. I have an idea for a really giant, crazy Teresa Kogut project that I want to do for Halloween that is probably going to be part of my plans for 2026. It's quite an undertaking, but I don't know why I'm trying to make myself have an undertaking when this moon already intimidates me greatly, but I just love her little Halloween characters. So I'll pick that up throughout the year. Got that in my little glow-in-the-dark pumpkin bag that you guys have seen before. And then my last WIP and my last Halloween project, I just got 1 night of work on it. My Pumpkin Patch Prom Pick. This is by Monica Stitching. And I have it on a 14 count all lit up by Bestitch Me. And I think I just had this corner done last time, so I brought this down and then moved all the way across, and now I'm starting on the moon that's right here. And so sometimes I'm just in the mood for just the black, and then other times I don't want to pick it up, but this is going to be so perfect for Halloween next year. I do have a few plans, things set aside or partially kitted up. I pulled this pattern from the group I got at the thrift store. I want to do, see if I can get it without the glare. I want to do this one right here in the corner. It says Monday ... wash day. And so there's like some pajamas and a wash bin and quilts hanging up. This is like a crazy quilt, and the stitching and the pattern in here is pretty wild to get that accomplished. So there's so many cute little quilt patterns in this pamphlet that I'm probably gonna switch. So it's got like the patch right here. I'll probably switch this to something else, just not as dark and dense, and just have another quilt hanging back there too. But I'm gonna just do that on this 18 count Aida. And I've got all my DMC ready to be kitted, not really ready to go, but I'll hang that in the laundry room. And I will probably stitch a lot more from this booklet too. It's a lot of really cute patterns and then ways you can kind of put them together, use them together. I like that one with the rocking chair. So I'm definitely going to start on that. A nice everyday pattern. And then I printed a bunch of things that I had in my email and I hadn't printed them in a long time from Patreon, or if you sign up and different companies send you different newsletters and free patterns every month. And so I printed Christmas Hug by Twin Peak Primitives, and I will just pull from stash and use my own colors on this. Maybe I have these, maybe I don't, but we'll make it work. I won't go buy floss for it. And then Twin Peak Freebie Hot Chocolate. I thought that was so cute with the little mice. So those are two I'll definitely start during the Christmas season. I also think I want to do this one. I do like the Christmas tree and the little goose, but I also like these guys with their little trumpets. I don't have the flosser fabric for that. And then, oh, and I'm sorry, this is called Herald the Holidays, Leisure Arts. And then this one is Trim the Tree by Dimensions. And this one, I don't want to do them separate like this as like ornaments. I think I would stitch them together kind of in a row. And I would definitely do like Santa, Mrs. Claus, toy soldiers and the elves, kind of all in a line. And that I would pull from stash as well. And then this one that I just got, first of the month, Teresa Kogut's Patreon. This was one of the patterns called Hello Cardinal. And I just love that. I have not done one of her Christmas patterns yet. I don't know how, because I have so many. I've done so many, started so many Halloween projects from her, but I'm going to use this 14 count taupe fabric flare. And then I had just started kitting up the floss, so this is only 5 different colors out of, I don't know how many, there's probably 15 or 20 more. But I cut these little floss drops just from some cute paper from Hobby Lobby. So I figured, well, if I'm using like a heavy cardstock to make my floss drops, why not get heavy cute paper? And so this is like real stiff. And so for all my Christmas patterns, I'm putting them on there and just writing what they are on the back. So that is one I will definitely start maybe today with my daughter. Could be one we do together. And then I am so pumped about this. I'm a little obsessed with Unfinished Stitches, the channel, Flosstube channel, with Madison and Bonnie. I've talked about them before. They're a mother-daughter team, and they are just so creative, and they just make things work and do things their way and create their own way of doing the floss drops. That's where I got this idea, is watching their video. And then they have a really great project bag, a vinyl project bag tutorial that is so simple and fast. I love my bags that I make and I sell on Etsy, but they are at least a 2-hour project, at least. It's so much piecing and quilting and then hand binding. And these, I followed their tutorial and I made a couple yesterday in like a hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. And so I had this Riley Blake Twas fabric from, actually leftover from this quilt that I made my son last year. And so I've been wanting to use it for something. I love the vintage look. Got the pink with the Santas on the back. And so I just watched their tutorial, followed the instructions. I actually made this bag first. This is the size of the bag in the tutorial with the measurements listed. And got a little floss drop on there. And I love it, but most of my patterns are printed and they're this size. So they're printed PDF patterns, which I don't mind at all. I don't mind a PDF pattern. I think it's great. I love that it is there and then it's mine and it's printed and I can start it if I want to, but it did not fit inside of my bag. So I made that one. I'll use it for a smaller pattern, but I really wanted a bag for this. as I was getting it all kitted up. And so I just added 2 inches to everything on their measurements and made it big enough that I can put this full-size paper in there. And it actually is plenty big, as you can see. It is plenty big for a full sheet of paper, and then anything else you want to stick in there. So I was so excited to make those. I am going to probably do like they do and just pick a ton of fabric and do an assembly line and make a ton of bags, because I have quite a few projects honestly right now in like Ziplocs. And I have some of my bags that I've made, and then I have some like Amazon zipper bags, which don't last really a long time. And so I will probably do an assembly line of these and make a ton of bags for myself to put everything in a cute bag. And I'm excited about that. As I mentioned before, my daughter finally said she wanted to learn to cross stitch. And so since I was making bags yesterday, I was like, well, I'm gonna make you a bag and get everything kitted up. And I had her pick her little charms for her zipper pull, and then got her floss all ready. And so she has a matching bag to the one I showed earlier. She picked this cute little snowman, candy cane, peppermint combo here. And then I thought this would be a great first project for her because it's just tiny. There's not a lot of colors. It's by the chimney, Country Cottage Needleworks. So I've got all her floss kitted up in there. She's using the 14 count taupe fabric flare as well. And we're gonna start this today. And I hope she loves it. I hope she loves it and is addicted like I am, and I have a lifelong cross stitch buddy, but we'll see. I told her, don't get frustrated. You're gonna mess up. Things aren't gonna look the way you thought they would, and you're gonna have tangles and you're gonna be confused, but work through it, and then you'll be addicted like I am. And then another thing that I have started doing is I kind of just had everything piled on my couch in my little spot that I stitch in. And so I got this cute basket from Walmart, and now I can kind of stay organized with what projects I'm working on. So I put like 10 projects in here right by the couch, and then I can just pull out what I want to stitch on that night. And then it also keeps everything organized instead of just piled on my couch. So I love using that. And then one more thing I wanted to show you were the bags that I've been working on. I only have one of these currently on Etsy. I'll show that one first. The rest I still need to list, or I need to finish binding them. So this one is on Etsy right now. Cute little farm animals. Let's see, we got a little green bead and a heart and a leaf for the zipper pull. But I love the little wavy stitches. And then it's just got cute little farm animals on it. That's a good size project bag. Polka dots on the back. That's super fun. So I actually have 2 of these. That one's already listed on Etsy. This one, pretty much the same, different color zipper, but I still need to bind it. So I have the binding sewn down on the front, and I need to hand stitch it to the back, and then that one will get listed. This one I just think is the cutest thing ever. A little piggy project bag. And I thought, this is actually when I started doing the wavy at the top, because I thought it looked like little piggy tails. And so I just love this. It's smaller, just a little bit smaller, but still a great size to put a cross stitch project in. It's got a little measuring tape, cute zipper pull, and pink and quilted on the back. These are so fun. I love making any kind of bag. I love my patchwork bags that are actually pieced on the front, which I'll show you some of those. I love these. I'm so happy I now know how to make a vinyl bag. You saw my first attempt on my first Flosstube episode, and it was messy, but you finally got it figured out. And then this one is still, this one needs to be bound as well, but I think this fabric is Cascade. Such pretty blues. And then I'll bind it. It's not bound right now, but just got a gray on the back. This one is a favorite. I love this. Garden Gatherings, Primitive Gatherings fabric. This one needs to be bound as well. Very, very cool fall colors. And then I'm halfway done binding this one. polka dots. This one's called Magic Dot. And so as you can see, here are my stitches on that side. I'm working my way down. They're so fun. So those will all be on Etsy, probably by tomorrow, I think. I do have a good pile of haul. The first thing I'm going to show you is I had, I think in episode 2, shown my aunt's cross stitch project with the months and our birthdays at the bottom. And I asked for advice on similar projects so I could stitch it. And a sweet subscriber emailed me and asked if I would want this pattern that she thought was very similar that I could stitch. And I said, absolutely yes, please tell me how much and I would love to buy it from you. And she said, nope, I'm just gonna send it to you in the mail. So thank you so much. But it is called Gardening Calendar. It's a Sue Hills design. And if you remember, you can go back to episode 2 and see, but if you remember my aunt's, it is very similar to this. And this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something with the months, just like she had, but different pictures so I could hang them side by side. And then underneath each month at the bottom, I will probably just create a little bit more space so I can put our birth dates into that. I'm probably gonna do like my parents, my husband's parents, siblings, and then our kids is what I'll do on mine. So I'm super excited to start that. And then she was so sweet. She also sent this, which is 2 awesome patterns. And I had talked about how I loved that you could have something stitched that had the holidays, but you could have it up all year. And so there's 2 more patterns that have holidays that can be up year round. So I love that. Thank you so, so much. And then I was so tickled. We went to get my youngest son his permit. So he's now a permitted driver. I'm teaching my 3rd child to drive. I cannot believe that. And we had to go about 45 minutes away for his appointment. And there was a cross stitch store. So an L&S, which is not really very local to me. I don't have anything within an hour's drive pretty much from my house, but I got to go to my first cross stitch store. And I think I spent 10 minutes looking in the first basket when you walked in the door. And my son and my husband were being so sweet standing there. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab a few things and I'm gonna come back by myself because they don't wanna stand here for this. But I'm gonna share the information. So this is in Coppers Cove, Texas. And so that's where I went, and I did get this awesome yellow scrap of fabric. It's kind of showing brighter. It's very buttery in person. And I immediately knew I've been wanting to stitch the Boo and Who, the cat and the owl, for some time. And I just immediately thought, I'm gonna stitch that owl and that cat on this yellow. So they're like black and orange, and I'll stitch them on this. So that was a fun find. And then I picked up Little House Needleworks Quilt Shop. I love that little design. I don't know if I'll start it this year since I'm already starting so many Christmas things. And then they had Quilted Tiny Town. And I want to do something crazy with the tiny towns. And maybe it's not that crazy. Maybe someone's already done this and I'm not an original thinker on this, but I have loved these for a long time. And this is the first one I've purchased. But as soon as I saw like this one, there were just a couple that made me think, you know, I could stitch like 1 per month and do them all in a row. And so I think I'm going to stitch these. It may be like a big project for 2026. Get a piece of fabric big enough that I can start with, I think it's like Frosty Tiny Town or something. It's obviously like winter, and do January, and then do the Valentine's one, and then do the blooming one, and then do, so basically go through either the seasons, or if there's like a month that doesn't really have a theme, use one of the any tiny towns, and then just work my way all the way. There's like the, you know, the Halloween, and then the Thankful, and then the Christmas, and just have one tiny town for every month of the year. I might try to do that. That sounds crazy maybe, but I think that would be super fun. And then I got 2 Halloween patterns while I was there. So Sneaky Spooky Spells. This is cute. I've seen a few people stitch this. And then October 31st. I didn't even realize till right in this moment that that's stitching. I guess I thought it was the fabric. It's like a fence or a piece of wood. I didn't even realize that. But that'll be fun. And then I got my fabric of the month for the first time back from joining Be Stitch Me again. And so this is a 16 count martini. And I am super excited about this because this is going to be perfect for my Judith Kirby's. I still haven't gotten my patterns yet. I ordered them after episode 1. They said it was going to be a while before they were shipped to me, but I think this is going to be such a great fabric to put the house number 9 and the house number 15 Halloween houses side by side. Kind of a funny story. I was watching Two Needles Pulling Thread and I had a migraine, so I had this thing over my eyes and I was laying in bed with this terrible headache, but I had them going on the TV, so I was like listening. And they started talking about the Judith Kirby's, and then one of them said, "Who else is doing that?" "Oh, Five Oaks Farm Stitching." And I like sat up out of bed and I was like, oh, I was so excited to hear that in the midst of my terrible migraine. But I will definitely use this fabric whenever those patterns come in. I think that will be perfect. And then these two were on sale on Fat Quarter Shop. So what is this? Autumn Petites Little House Needleworks. And then Grateful and Willing. I had this one saved for a while, and I'm sure this is, it says, "I give to this beloved land my grateful heart and willing hand." And it has a flag in it, so I'm sure this is a patriotic kind of chart, but what it meant to me, why it's special to me is, as I've mentioned before, we live on a farm that's been in my family since 1880. And so I think all the time, what do my ancestors think about what we're doing here? And do we appreciate what they did, that we have this land and to live here? And so that's why I want to stitch this for my family. And then I got the Christmas magazine, Cross Stitch Christmas, in the mail. And I can't even believe this. We've been so busy. I haven't even opened it. I haven't even picked out what I want to stitch. But I'm excited to look at that. And then I went back to the thrift store after that amazing haul that I had last time. And I had already picked up this pattern, but they had a second one. And so I grabbed it because I want to give it away to you guys. So if you would be interested in receiving this pattern, Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. Let's just put strawberry in your comment. I'm definitely going to stitch this. I was so excited to see a second one. So if you're interested, just put strawberry in your comment and I will pick a winner before the next episode. I feel like all I watch anymore is Flosstube. My daughter and I watch Christmas movies. If you saw on Instagram back in the beginning of October, we made our Halloween movie list. And we try to watch all our favorite Halloween movies. And now November 1st, in our house is Christmas. We are fully decorated. I'm ready to wrap gifts. The trees are up. Everything is done. We're in Christmas mode. And so my daughter and I have made our November Christmas movie watching list. So pretty much all I watch is Flosstube or Christmas movies with my daughter. So I have a lot of people to mention today. The first ones I want to mention, though, are the sweet people who have mentioned Five Oaks Farm Stitching on their channel and tell them thank you. So that would be B&E Stitchery, Floss Boss and Cousins, Leslie Jackson from A Nurse and Her Needle, and Nikki Nax Crafts. And I watch all of them and they are great. And then I've also, of course, been watching Unfinished Stitches, the Carolina Stitchers, Because We Stitch, Just Keep Stitchin', Two Needles Pulling Thread, and True Treasures. I just found her last night and watched her most recent episode. And then Maggie from Homemade on the Ridge. So all of these are channels I enjoy. There's probably 10 more I could list that I've been watching, but those are the ones most recently that came to mind. And I just love it. I love seeing what everyone is doing, and it's so inspiring and motivating and gives you great ideas to go and keep working on everything that you have going on. Thank you for watching and hanging out with me today. It was so good to be back, and I have promised a bag tutorial. I have that on my to-do list for my next video, and so I will be getting my husband to be my cameraman, and we will film a tutorial. It will not be professional. I don't know how to teach people to sew, as I am a new quilter and new cross stitcher myself, but I can show you how I do it, and then you can tweak it and make it your own and hopefully make some fun project bags yourself. I do have a funny story about my husband. When we were in Hobby Lobby the other day getting some floss, I was, I think, kitting up the advent calendar. And so I bought one of those giant tubes of Aida from Hobby Lobby that's like, I don't know how big it is, but it was more than I needed to cut 24 ornaments for that cross stitch calendar. And I picked it up off the shelf and I started walking, and he said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, is that Aida?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay, because I read your comments and the people like Aida." So he's looking out for all of you, that I don't stray away from the Aida, and I don't plan on it. I love watching floss tubers who stitch on linen. I love watching anyone who's stitching on anything, really, and I don't plan on switching from Aida anytime soon. But anyways, thank you for being here today, and I hope you have a great couple weeks until I see you again, and get a lot of great stitching in. Bye.